Boys, it's chinned. This weekend we got Arnold Allen versus Melky Costa. This is a solid card. It's a shame it's in the Apex. There's a few good fights on here. Some good debuts as well that I'm really looking forward to. Um, should be a lot of heavy action. I'm surprised they're putting people like Wellmaker in the Apex. Bernardo Sapage, Chaos Williams. I mean, Tommy Gant, Artur Miniev, bro. I mean, unbelievable card. At least when it comes to prospects, and the fights that are good are really good. So starting with Shana Banan versus Nicole Cagliari. Um, Nicole Cagliari, I believe, winless in the UFC. Yeah, 0-2. Shana Banan hasn't looked the best in her wins, but she still has them. I'm gonna go with Shana Banan by decision. What are the odds here? Plus 150. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm picking Shana Banan by decision. Moving on, Daniel Perez versus Luis Garule. This is a really good fight. It's a really close fight. Luis Garule, I think, is a lot better than his UFC record. I believe he's 0-3. I think he's a lot better than that 0-3 record. He's been fighting solid competition. Alden Correa is a fucking monster. Jesus Aguilar is like kind of underrated in my opinion. Obviously, Ode Osborne is like much better than his record states. He's a good fighter. He is a good fighter. Daniel Perez, on the other hand, another guy. His overall record is very deceiving. He's a solid fighter, and unless you can take him down and submit him, I'm probably not going to be picking you unless you're like very high level on the feet. Garule, not known for his submission skills. Perez has a really underrated win over Victor Altamirano, who I rate like fairly highly for a flyweight. I'm going to pick Perez by decision here. I wouldn't be surprised if Garule pulls it off, but I just think Perez is a lot more proven. Yeah, there you go. Daniel Perez, decision. Moving on, Alice Ardelian versus Polyana Viana. I'm picking Alice Ardelian by decision. I don't rate Viana at all. Every single time she's supposed to win a fight, she loses it pretty badly, it feels like. She's been checked out of fighting for a long time, it seems. Whenever you watch her, she just looks like shit. What's her losing streak? Yeah, 3. I didn't even know she was on a losing streak. I just had a feeling. She's checked out. Andre Petrosky versus Cody Brundage. Holy fucking mid, bro. I'm gonna be picking Andre Petrosky by probably, I want to say, submission. Cody Brundage he's just not good. Neither is Andre Petrosky, but like he is at least like serviceable for a middleweight. Cody Brundage, I believe, has the Tapology Rainbow. Yes, he does. And he's on 3 losses in a row. It's weird because like I'll have a fight like the Dante Johnson fight, and then he'll get like fucking mowed down by a guy like Cam Roston. I'm just gonna pick Andre Petrosky by submission here. Caitlin Vieira versus 3 women's fights, huh? Caitlin Vieira versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I'm gonna be picking Cavalcanti by decision here. This might sound weird. I actually kind of rate Caitlin Vieira. Like, I think she's actually like a solid women's fighter. Like, she's always winning fights that she's not supposed to win. There was a nice stretch a few years ago where she was just an underdog in like every single fight for a while, and she was winning most of them. Like the Holly Holm fight, the Misha Tate fight. She was even there. So she's like even. In a lot of her fights, I'm picking Cavalcanti by decision though. Vieira just hasn't looked the best as of late. That's it. I don't really remember much about Cavalcanti, but I just know that she's decent. Moving on. Let's see. Because I believe, this is probably my favorite fight on the card here. This is Artur Miniev, one of the hardest hitting regional talents in the sport right now at 155, fighting Tommy Gant. Tommy Gant is a fucking murderer. Tommy Gant, he trains with DC. Insane record, insane finishing potential. He came on to the Contender Series and just smoked somebody who was actually really decent. The only problem with him is that he's kind of old for a prospect. He's 33, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. I think if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll get pushed like very quickly. Artur Miniev, on the other hand, is filling in on short notice. He just filled in earlier today. I rate him very highly. I do rate him very highly. He's shown in his career he has insane fucking power. Um, every once in a while he'll struggle with the takedowns and all that, but it really isn't for too long before he catches somebody. Um, but I am going to be picking Tommy Gant because as much as I rate Minyev, I rate Gant double that. I think Gant's one of the best prospects in the UFC right now, in the sport. I do think that he is really, really good. I think his upside is insane for a 33-year-old. I think he could be around for a few years. I look forward to this fight because I'm a big fan of Minyev, but I rate Gant even higher. This should be a banger. I'm picking Gant by round 1 submission. But if it goes any later, because I don't really remember, honestly. I watched Gant's career, but I don't really remember. Yeah, the last time he went to decision was a few years ago. I don't remember if he really struggles with cardio, and you can't really say much about it because he's finished so many people now, so you don't know if he's improved if that was the case. I'm picking Tommy Gant by sub, but if it extends to the later rounds and Minyev starts to fucking knock him out, knock him down, potentially knock him out later on, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Minyev is one of those fighters. If you can't beat him, he will fucking murk you. If you can't finish him, he'll murk you, rather. Tuco Tokos versus Ivan Urslan. Tuco sucks, in my opinion. Ivan Urslan, I think, is going in there. He's going to get an easy TKO in the first round, is what I think. Ivan sucks too, but he has shown a lot more potential than Tuco, who kind of just sits there and gets chinned by half the fighters that he's fighting. Ivan at least is he's supposed to do well and then he doesn't. Tuco's supposed to lose and then he does. Nikolai Veretennikov versus Chaos Williams. This is a fucking banger. Chaos Williams is a really fucking sick fighter. Pandemic era Chaos Williams is one of the coolest fucking fighters ever to watch. He was just flatlining people left and right, 30 seconds back to back. Nikolai Veretennikov has a very weird tick. He's always grabbing his nose and his face and shit. He's a fucking weird fighter to watch. I don't think he's very good, honestly. He got that win over Nico Price. That's a layup, dude. I can knock out Nico Price. Punahele Soriano beat him. That's a fine loss to have. I'm picking Chaos Williams by TKO here. Even Nico Price was kind of landing on Veretennikov, which was weird. Chaos Williams probably going to be able to take advantage of that. Crazy power on him. Picking Chaos Williams by KO in round 1. Picking a lot of round 1s right now, but it's just how it is. Moving on, Timothy Twilight Kwamba versus Bernardo Sopaj. I'm kind of surprised at these odds. I rate Sopaj pretty highly for a guy with his record in the UFC. What is it, 1-1? Yeah. So he got fucking murked, of course, by Vinicius. And he came back and he beat Ricky Tercios. He looked pretty damn good in it. And I know this is crazy, but I'm a Ricky Tercios glazer, okay? I'm the only Ricky Tercios fan in the UFC, in the fan base. And even though Tercios is probably cut because of a fucking shit record in the UFC, I rate Sopaj because of that win, and he was looking really, really good against Vinicius Oliveira in the early rounds in that fight as well. Timmy Kwamba doesn't really look good in his fights until he ends up just I believe his last fight was a sub. No, it was a decision, but he had this flying knee to ground strikes. I remember picking against him in this fight, and he won, and I couldn't believe it. I like Sopaj to beat Kwamba. I can't break down Kwamba for you. I don't really remember his fights too well. I just know that he shocked me a lot in winning. But I think Sopaj is technical enough to beat a guy like Kwamba. By decision, probably. Maybe by KO. Should be a good fight, though. Sopaj is usually in bangers. Moving on, Modestas Bukauskas versus Rodolfo Bellato. Jesus Christ, bro. If he's Rodolfo Vieira, he's getting fucking chinned. I'm picking Bukauskas. I don't rate Bukauskas very highly. But I also don't rate Bellato at all. I think he's a bad fighter. I think he gets very lucky in a lot of his fights, a lot of his wins, his no contest, that Paul Craig fight. I think he is a very, just extremely, mid fighter. A guy like Bukauskas, who I don't think is the best either, but it definitely is technically better than Bellato, if you ask me. I think if he can just steer clear of the power in the first round, I think he's got this fight in the bag. I wouldn't be surprised about a round 3 TKO, but I'm probably going to be picking Bukauskas by decision, just pitter-pat leg kick, jab from the outside. Just, win the first or lose the first, win the last 2 rounds, and then just call it a day. 29-28 Bukauskas. Boring decision probably. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz. This fight is fucking beautiful. It's these last 3 fights, and then it's the Tommy Gant fight that make this card for me really, really fun. The Wellmaker fight, man. Juan Diaz is a monster, but he has one major flaw, which you could see if you watch his Contender Series fight. He gets hit a lot, but he can handle it. He has such a good chin on him, and he's a dog. He's young, and he's got a fucking crazy bag. He's got a crazy tool bag. Spinning elbow, flatline KO in his Contender Series fight. Juan Diaz is a fucking beast. His problem is he just doesn't have good defense. And a guy like Malcolm Wellmaker is going to take advantage of that. And I see Malcolm Wellmaker's career, I almost see him as an alternate to Peyton Talbot, or a parallel to Peyton Talbot. Like, he's hyped up. He's a big favorite over a guy he's supposed to beat. He loses to that guy. That guy ends up being, like, insane. Raoni Barcelos beat Peyton Talbot, and Raoni Barcelos is now on a crazy winning streak, beating people that Talbot even would maybe struggle with. Malcolm Wellmaker loses to Ethan Ewing. Ethan Ewing goes on to be one of the biggest prospects in the last couple of years in this division, and everybody loves Ewing now. Malcolm Wellmaker's going to go in there. He's going to right the wrongs of his last performance, and he's going to take advantage of the defensive incapabilities of Juan Diaz, and he's going to put him out in the first round or 2. I'm picking Malcolm Wellmaker. I think he's gonna pick him apart in the first round. Maybe it'll be slow for the first half of the round. Second half of the round, maybe he starts to find his range, find some counters, slip some punches and all that. Wellmaker doesn't have the best defense himself, but he does have a good chin. I don't really know if Juan Diaz is going to be able to take advantage of any of that. I think by the time the second round comes around, Wellmaker's just going to be dialed in. And find, maybe a nice counter, like left hand or something. Maybe something similar to the Cameron Simon fight. I'm picking Wellmaker by round 2, KO. I think he's going to come back and look great. Doo Ho Choi versus Daniel Willie Cat Santos. This should be fight of the night. This is a real fucking banger. Now, as much as I like Doo Ho Choi, I do think that he is kind of overrated these days. Not by virtue of, like, nobody's saying he's going to be this crazy ranked monster, or that, he's old now. He still looks like he's fucking 19 years old, but he's old. He's 35 years old. He's been through the ringer as far as UFC fights are concerned, because he's just had so many wars. And his chin, it's definitely giving out. A guy like Daniel Willie Cat Santos, who is square in his prime, on a crazy win streak right now. What is it, like 3 or 4 in a row? Yeah, 4 in a row. John Castaneda, that's a good win. Johnny Munoz, solid win. John Young Lee, not bad. Ju Sang Yu, great fucking win. He was an underdog there. He was a favorite there. Fucking Daniel Willie Cat Santos here, man. Doo Ho Choi is, I like him. And if I were to just root with my heart here, I would pick Doo Ho Choi. Just, I like him a lot. He's a really fun fighter. He's a cool dude, But Daniel Willie Cat Santos is a fucking monster, and I just think they're in 2 completely different points in their careers. I think Doo Ho Choi is getting chinned a couple times and leaving the UFC and retiring from the sport for good. He's given all he has, and it's not that much. He's just been through some crazy wars, and his chin's giving out. Daniel Willie Cat Santos is going to TKO him, probably also in the second round. Wouldn't be surprised if it's quick, though. It could be a first rounder. This could be a quick one, but if it goes anything longer than the first round, it's probably going to be fight of the night. Because Doo Ho Choi can bring it. He can bring it. He's a great fighter. Moving on to the main event, Arnold Allen versus Melky Costa. I picked Dan Ige to beat up Melky Costa and win by a decision. I was brutally wrong about that. Melky Costa was the first person to finish Dan Ige. That's so fucking impressive. And the way he did it too, man. Spinning back kick. Crazy. That being said, I think that he struck lightning in a bottle. I don't think he could replicate that if he tried. And Arnold Allen is literally like a way better version of Dan Ige. He's lankier, he's got better wrestling, he's got better striking. The only thing he doesn't have of Ige is the power, but the power of Ige is also kind of overrated. Arnold Allen has a lot more 5-round experience. He has a lot more high-level experience. He's fought Max Holloway. He's fought... why am I forgetting? He's fought Max Holloway. He's fought Gene Silva, of course. Giga. Mavsar. Arguably beat Mavsar. Calvin Kattar. You know, he had a camp for him, even though that fight ended early. I mean, Dan Hooker knocked him out in round 1. Sadiq Youssef. Gilbert Melendez. Mads Burnell. Makwan Amirkhani. These are great fighters, man. These are all great fighters. Melky Costa, you know, C-Rod's a good win. Juicy J, not a great win if you ask me. It was a great fight though. Morgan Sharia, that was sick. Dan Ige, that was sick. Andre Fili, he put himself into that guillotine. Norden Becca, I mean, I understand. And the one step up he got, if you ask me, the best fighter out of all of these guys that he's fought in the UFC is Steve Garcia. You know, Thiago Moises subbed him a few years ago. I just can't, I know that it's weird, but I can't rate Costa. I can't rate Melky. He's on a great winning streak and he's got some crazy highlight reel KOs, but I really don't think he could replicate them if he tried. He's not a KO puncher. That's just not his thing. I think he's just, I don't want to say he's getting lucky. I don't, because I'm not trying to disrespect him. I like Melky. Like, he's fun to watch. I see him on a card and I go, oh man, that's going to be a good fight. But I don't know. There's something about him. It's the way that he's winning is great, but the people that he's fighting I'm not convinced that he could do it again. You know, I feel like he's just kind of, you know what I mean? Arnold Allen has way more experience. Arnold Allen has all of the cardio you could want from a fighter, especially against a guy like Melky, who's probably not going to be put away. Arnold Allen, I think, is probably going to be able to have moments in the later rounds where we could be looking at, okay, maybe he'll finish him. But for now, I'm picking Arnold Allen by 50-45 or 49-46. Dominant decision. I think he's going to be able to pick him apart from the outside. I know Melky's got the same reach. He's bigger, right? So, oh yeah, he's 5'10". I know Melky's bigger, but Arnold Allen just has a way better style for like utilizing his reach. Melky kind of makes it dirty, you know, and he's pressured a lot in his fights, and that's where he finds his finishes. Arnold Allen is going to be able to pick him apart. Maybe land some good 1-2s in the pocket as well. You know, he's got really solid boxing. And for the record, I don't think Arnold Allen's all that either. I really don't. I think every Arnold Allen fight that he's won, I've picked him, and every Arnold Allen fight that I've picked against him, he's lost. Like, Arnold Allen, I think I have properly like set up in my head. Like, I feel like I just know the styles that he does well against and what he doesn't do well against. I think he could do really well against Melky. I think he's just going to be able to pick him apart. I don't think Melky's going to be able to get anything started. Maybe in the first round, you know, Melky comes out swinging and he looks really good because, you know, he's riding a high. He's on this win streak. It's his first main event. It's the apex. There's less pressure. Maybe he wins the first round, but Arnold Allen is so crafty at this point. He's a true vet. He's got a very deep bag. He's got great skills on the ground as well if he needs to tap into that. I know Melky's a grappler, first and foremost, but Arnold Allen has better top control, in my opinion, than Melky has the ability to get up. So if Arnold Allen can take him down, I think that he can keep him down and control the fight and win rounds using it. I'm picking Arnold Allen by decision. 50-45 or 49-46. I really don't have much to say about it other than that. I mean, it's a good fight. It's a really good fight. You know, it's a great matchmaking. But I just think it's a little bit too much too soon. Arnold Allen is probably a tier or two better than Costa, if you ask me. I'd be surprised if he loses this. Arnold Allen by decision. Really good card, man. Really good card. Looking forward to the Tommy Gant fight. That's going to be sick. This has been Chinned. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.